Guys, today we'll talk about networking, and we build out a small client-server application where the client sends messages to the server and the server will simply echo them back to the client. So let's start out by creating a class called chat client. And for the chat client we generate the main method. And here we create a try catch block, we create a socket. So this is simply a TCP socket that listens on incoming messages and can send outgoing messages to another server. Type in the host, which is localhost, and a port number, which is 8080. Then I also create a scanner, because I wanted the user to enter messages on the console. So the scanner will listen to system.in. And then I catch any exception, any IO exception, and print out the stack trace. Now let's import these two. So this one java.net and this one from java.util. And next we create input and output for the server. So the first thing is we create a buffered reader. This serves as our input stream. The buffered reader will listen to a input stream reader, and the input stream reader will use the input stream from the socket. Now let's import these from java.io, and then for the outgoing stuff we'll create a print writer. And this print writer will write out to the socket output stream. Now the next thing that I'll do is I create a string variable line, and this is the line that the user enters on the console. So I use scanner next line that reads in the next line, and let me actually put out a small message before. Enter. So that prompts the user to enter something. The scanner will read in the line, and the next thing I'll send it out to my output stream. So the out.print line will send it to the print writer to the output stream, and this output stream goes to the domain localhost on the port 8080. So I know this is an echo server, so I create a variable response, and I read on the incoming stream the next line, and then I output that as well. So the response here that I received is this one. And I do this continuously until the line that was entered matches by, in any case. And this is all I have for the client. So to summarize, I create a socket on this host, localhost, so this is my computer, then on port 8080, then I listen to incoming stream and an outgoing stream to send message up to the server. On the incoming stream, actually the outgoing stream I send a message to. Whenever I send a message, I wait for the response and I output the response. And each message that I send, I read from the console. So next, let's create a server class. I call this echo server. And here we also create a main. And again, we wrap this in a try catch block. In this case, I create a server socket. And server always runs on localhost. So I only specify the port here. Then let's import this server socket from the java.net package. And this one, again, I catch any IO exception that occurs and print out the stack trace. So the server socket implements auto-closable. That's why I wrap it in here for the try catch, so that it automatically closes at the end. Then again, Oh, this one is actually different. So the server will start up and then listen for incoming connections. So server started, waiting for connection. And the connection will actually create a socket. So I do server.accept, and this returns the socket, which is essentially the same thing that I have on the client. So here again, I create my input and output streams. For the input stream, I create a buffered reader that will use a input stream reader, and this reader will listen to the socket input stream. Then I create a print writer for outgoing messages, and this will write to the output stream of the socket. Now what this will do is it will continuously listen to messages that will be received. So I do a while loop, I read from the input a line, and I read as long as the line is not null. When it's null, I know the server is actually has terminated. Now before I enter the loop, let's actually also output a message. Connection was established, and now my server is listening for messages. Now here, whenever I get a message, I just simply output this, received, and the message that I received, and then I echo that back to the client. So I send it back to the print writer, and I echo that line back. And whenever this is completed, at the very end here, I output that the server is terminating. So this is our server. We have a server socket that listens on 8080, on port 8080 on the local host. We wait for a connection. When a connection is established, we accept it, we create a socket. For that socket, we listen to an input stream, and we create an output stream that we can send messages on. Then we basically listen for messages. We continuously read any line that is sent, and we receive it, we output it, and then we echo it back on the outgoing stream. So let's run the server here. So the server started, it's waiting for a connection. Let's switch back to the chat client. And I run the chat client as well. So I type in hello, and we can see the response is echo hello. If I type how are you, this echoes it back. Java networking is great. So anything I type here, it will be sent to the server and echoed back to me. Now if I switch to the output of the server also, you can see the messages here. Hello, how are you? Java networking is great. And then if I want to stop everything, I switch back to the client and I type in bye. I get one last echo back, bye, but you can see the process was terminated. And I switch back to the server, that one is terminated as well. And I can see it here as well. So this is all how to build a simple client-server application. I hope that you learned how to do this, and thank you for watching.